What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, and y'all know what time it is. It is time for our reality TV show review. So we got to get like a new intro for just our like TV reviews versus our hot topics review show. But I did want to let y'all know that we are currently, wait a minute, because I don't want to have like bad feed, but we are currently live right now on Instagram. I figured it out, Karma. Look, girl. We on Insta. Look at us, girl.
Oh, we on Insta. Why I'm up here looking at the Love and Marriage screenshot you just sent? I'm like, wait a minute. That was a real shot. Like, hold on, what? Sorry. You know my co-hosts be on it, y'all. And I be like, what?
I'm always sending her stuff live. Like when hot topics come out, sometimes I don't tell her the topic. She be sending the video live on you. Because I like the genuine reactions, you know.
And I listen, that screenshot had me with a genuine like, I'm sorry, what?
That's getting ready to be on YouTube when we leave. They're gonna be on Tasha K's YouTube. You know, she interviewed Martel Holt, and I got a clip to show y'all, but
I didn't notice. See this, I said genuine reaction. Y'all know I don't really do Cardi B employee like that.
The only reason I know about this is because it's the Love Marriage Huntsville. You know what I mean? Like situation, and I know about that. But anything else Tasha K do, I'd be really like, whatever. But I feel like, because a lot of people that are actually mellometers are like, don't support, don't watch, or don't this, don't that. And I understand why they're saying that. Don't give it into him. But my nosy butt feel like he's going to incriminate himself some more. So I kind of want to see. We saw Arion get up there and say, 2-parent household. 2-parent. So I wanted to see what new soundbite I'm going to get. Because I know just about everything that come out of Martel's mouth will be cap. So we'll see what happens. But guys, Love and Marriage Huntsville season 6, the reunion part 3, the finale. We're gonna get a break from this. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. This reunion, I don't think it needed to be 3 parts. I think that they could have made it 1 part. They could have made it like an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Instead of like 3, hours, they should have made it like a little extra 30 minutes and gave us the reunion and closed it out. Did you watch the Bell Collective reunion?
Let me tell you something. I really like Bell Collective. Let me just say that. I think Bell Collective has a lot of potential. Mm-hmm. My issue with Bell Collective and just kind of why I have to take just a reality break in general is that I can't keep watching the subtle abuse and the trigger. Like I just can't. Yeah. And between Letitia and Cliff and that old man and what's her face? With the hairline.
You mean not Letitia, Glenn, Cliff, and
no, Cliff is with Letitia, right? That's the main one.
The main
and
girl.
The other one is this younger girl with the older guy, Glenn.
Yeah, but that's Cliff. That's Cliff. The older guy's Cliff.
So Cliff's wife's name is
Latrice.
Letitia with the hairline? Latrice, right. Okay, Latrice. Okay.
All these L's, girl.
Them two, like, watching it on screen, like, it's just... It's starting to be like the darkness where Love and Marriage Huntsville was at. You get what I'm saying? And so I have to allow this part.
Especially Latrice. Like, I think like Letitia is trying to play it off a little bit more. Latrice, you see the darkness in her face.
Yeah, like it's
in Latrice's face, you see how Mel was season 2.
Yes, that's what it's giving. It's giving Mel and Martel Holt over Bell Collective times 2 couples. And I can't, and what's her name? That's a bully. That be bullying Tamra.
Marie.
So I really do support and like Bell Collective. I had to stop this season because it was just getting a little too much.
Okay, so for me, the only part that stood out with the reunion was JJ and So Gucci situation, because they had JJ's daughter Sanjay and I think Star came out. It might have been the other twin, but one of the twins and Sanjay came out and they spoke to JJ and So Gucci, and that whole scene was so cringeworthy that I was like, I probably have to like talk about it on my TikTok or something just to analyze it because it just really bothered me. But yeah, so we'll just move on to Love Marriage Huntsville and keep it moving. So let me see. Let me pull up my little notes, y'all, because y'all know sisters got a lot going on. My mind be all over the place. And if I don't have these notes, you will not get a review. So this is season 6, part 3 of the reunion. It picked up where it left off, where we have Miss Betty and Mel going back and forth. We talked about it last week about how we felt about Miss Betty. So this is just the continued of it. And then Stormy says something. So I'm going to show y'all a quick clip and then we'll come back and give our commentary on this part. Okay, so check this out.
You're not my mama. You're not my daughter. I don't have to do anything for you. You
Why
are you so irate, baby?
Why would I want to be your daughter?
irate?
Stormy.
Why are you so
Why are
irate?
you talking to me?
Why are you talking
to me? Go,
Okay,
Stormy.
Miss Betty, I want to
Why
hear
are you
from...
talking to me?
Okay, Miss
What is
Betty,
it,
one second,
Stormy?
Look,
my
I
baby.
don't know what y'all
What
let her
is that,
have.
Stormy?
She ain't having it with me.
Oh, I can have whatever
Okay,
you
Miss
want.
Betty.
It can be up,
Can I-
hit the floor, on the floor, whatever you want it to be, Miss Betty.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Miss Betty, I want to hear from Stormy. I mean,
Go
your
ahead,
daughter, okay?
Stormy.
Go ahead, Stormy.
I like you. I do. I always have. With the whole tweet situation, I do feel like that got a little out of hand. And it could have been like reeled back in before it even got crazy. Because sometimes, like Tiffany, she leaving right now. You know what I'm saying? Because get too hard. When you build something and when you work really, really hard for something, and you know, because you built this. You did. I don't know how it just disintegrated between you and I, but I don't want it to be made into this thing. It's because my mama didn't like you, because that's just not the truth.
You don't like me, I don't like you. We're good.
I never said I don't like you, and it's okay if you don't like me. God bless
don't.
you. It's okay.
Okay.
You
I
don't know
don't.
me to not like me, Miss
I
Betty.
don't.
Shame on you.
I don't.
Shame on you. Be an
I don't.
example.
At first,
Grow
I said I
up.
didn't like your ways.
okay, grow
but
up.
now it's just you.
Okay, so I really do feel like Miss Betty is coming from a fan perspective. Some people and also I could understand her feeling a certain kind of way because of her daughter, because of the situation of her daughter, but I feel like she's too involved. I feel like, again, I think we discussed this, it's hard to respect your elders when your elders is disrespecting you when you grown. Because I'm only gonna let you say so much. I'm a grown ass person. You don't get to talk to me like this. So that's why I be thinking mamas need to fall back and don't be out here. Because if you gonna say something, you can get cussed out too. So
I just don't understand the purpose. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and I am a mellometer. I have a shirt, and I bought skincare products, the whole set. Okay, that was $100. I love me some Mel Bell. Okay. I think the Stormy and Mel situation, to me, unless there's something I haven't seen that's like maybe in the background, I feel like both people, like I don't feel like this is a destiny issue. I really feel like this shit was kind of petty. I do think Mel sometimes be playing in our faces, acting like she don't see shit she see. Mel peep every goddamn thing. So I feel like Stormy had a valid point by saying,
you could have
you
said
all
let it
what they
go
were
so far.
saying, and
Right.
until I reached out is when you decided to do that. I think that was valid. I also think Stormy had a valid point when she originally told Mel at the beginning of the season, part A of the season, like, you never gave me your number. Why would I reach out? Like, you tell me to DM and do all this other stuff. Like, you wanted me to have your number. Why you just didn't contact me or just let me know that you not gonna want to talk to me for the season break? And although people were mad at Stormy, like, well, that every time Mel does the reunion, she doesn't talk to the cast. Well, y'all don't want fans of the show. So she don't know that. She's gonna be like talking to Mel however they talk
like you were
being on the show.
Yeah, like you didn't have an issue contacting me to use my house for your video.
How about that? So where are we at now that you're not talking to me?
Or we were associates or whatever before the show.
Before the show.
Why would you treat me differently? So again, I'm not a mellometer. I do support Mel, the woman, right? I support Mel, the entrepreneur. I have bought a couple of her products, and I think she's great, and I do support her. But again, I try not to get on the on them
I'm not
things.
saying I'm a fan of people. I'm just not a stan of people.
Right.
Like I can continue
I
to
do
critique,
support Mel,
but I support
100%,
people.
especially in the situation with Martel and all that. I'm definitely,
I definitely support Mel. I also support Stormy and want to get her body glazed, and I'm gonna get that because it's selling out on TikTok, and I want to try that. But I think, to be fair, I do think that Stormy was right by telling her, like, you know, sometimes the way you be moving, and it could be rightfully so, Mel gets a little like once you get on the show, maybe she kind of pulls back based upon her experiences of how other people move. But I think you should verbalize.
And I feel like I understand why Mel does it, right? But I also feel like just like Mel wants to have boundaries and Mel wants to teach people how to treat her, she has to be a better friend to people too. If you bring me on the show as your friend and we were real friends before this show, just because you having an issue with the way this show is going, you don't just cut me out and ghost me and then think when I get back on the show with you, I'm be like, hey girl, how you doing? No ma'am. Like,
and I also know that the Millimeter said that, you know, Stormy was being cool with Tisha, and I guess behind the scenes, maybe there were some pictures with like Tisha and Martel and going out.
Yeah, so Mel was probably like,
I gotta stay away from you because Martel be running his mouth. I don't know what you're telling him. But again, I do think that should be a conversation. If this is really a friend behind the scenes, or are you just grabbing people?
It could be a conversation. Again, y'all talk. We didn't see the conversation when you booked Stormy's house for your video. So clearly y'all was having conversations off camera. So if you seen your friend moving a little funny with somebody that you don't rock with, you ain't gonna say nothing. Now, I've had friendships that went left because people didn't communicate. You know what I'm saying? Like if they thought I did something, instead of just telling me, hey, what's up? What is this? They just kind of like was done and I don't know what happened. You can't do that. And Mel does that. If you
and she does that, it's like she observed and then she disconnects.
And she could have been wrong.
I don't like that.
Or let her know. Give somebody the option. Like my bad sis, you know, I just got on this show. I was trying to film with everybody. I didn't know.
I didn't know. And Mel could have said, listen, it would be different if maybe you developed a friendship before you knew about what Martel did to me. But considering you maybe we talked, I had an issue with you being friends with my ex and my ops.
Right.
I just feel like that could have been a conversation that wasn't really well developed in the season. So I really feel like basically Mel and Stormy can be squashed. Yeah. It's really not deep. I just feel like it's a lack of communication.
Throughout the season, it seemed like Mel ain't had no issues with Stormy, where she would have had an issue, you know, like fixing that, mending that friendship. And the way Stormy just
Mel ain't had no issue because she ain't friends with Stormy. Let's be clear. That's a Scorpio. Ain't no issue because you're not my friend.
Yeah.
She treated Stormy accordingly to the other cast members.
Right. But I feel like
Stormy is trying to develop real relationships. And you can see that she is really trying to navigate this reality TV show shit, because you could tell in real life, Stormy probably would not talk to people she don't like.
Right. Because
this is a really weird environment for her.
Really truly tried with the Scotts. That I think Stormy don't learn, you know what that ain't. I think Destiny at this point has learned the Scotts ain't it either. Like everybody trying to throw Mel under the bus to be friends with the Scotts, and then you see what happened. Well.
And you know, I just feel like, you know, as much as I love Mel, I do feel like there is room for critique for Mel with certain things that she do that doesn't really get that without it seeming like over hate, like damn, that was vicious, or you a fan and you don't want to give it to her. Right. If I had to give a critique, I do feel like Mel and Stormy should have been squashed this. And I also feel like I know mothers are a trigger for Mel because Wanda is a trigger for me, and now your mama coming into that. But again, that should have been a conversation. Because obviously when you have outspoken toxic mothers like them two, there's not too much a child can do. Like, what you want Stormy to do? Tell her mama to shut up?
Right.
It's not so much you can do more than create boundaries, but her mama gonna type whatever the fuck she want to type in a Facebook group. Whatever needs to be said, I do feel like that should have just been a conversation with Stormy and Mel. Period.
And we did not need Miss Betty or her commentary. And that's that.
And this is where I'm gonna hold Stormy accountable by saying, you're not responsible for what your mother says on the internet, but bringing your mother into the reality TV world is yours.
Yes.
She was already overly invested, obviously, in a Facebook group.
Clearly.
You brought her on screen, and now you having her in scenes with Mel.
Okay, so when it comes to that, right, I think at this point, the way Stormy's talking, the way Stormy was like, Mom, Betty, Mom, like now Stormy don't want it. But when she brought her mama to that tea party, she wanted Betty to do that. I think she was okay with Betty doing that, and it was okay to her. And it wasn't cute then. It wasn't cute then.
And that's why I'm holding Stormy accountable. You knew who your mama was when she came. That at this point, your mama was only going to escalate. She ain't de-escalating nothing. So as much as I'm critiquing Mel, Stormy, you know who Betty is. Obviously, Betty likes to, be overly helicopter protective of her child. Betty should have never been even in a situation to have contact with Mel, because you know what she's gonna do.
Exactly. And I agree. Let's wrap up Betty. So Betty and Auntie Lisa, they still ain't got it together. They still ain't worked it out. Auntie Lisa ain't on Betty, and that's what it is. And then Junior, that's his name, right? Junior. Sure. The cousin. He doesn't work with Canvas anymore. He's the manager.
Butter. Is Butter separate?
I don't know, girl.
Butter in the car. Is Butter not the dude that was on stage? That's separate. Cousin Butter.
Maybe it is. Cousin.
Okay, Junior Butter, cousin.
Cousin Pete.
Cousin Pete. Uncle Pete. Uncle Pete is now working at a retail management or whatever store.
Restaurant. Yeah, he not at Canvas no more. But him and Stormy are able to be cousins and love each other. So that's great for the family. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully Miss Betty get her life and get out of the chat rooms and out the groups and focus on her family. That would be great. Wrap them up. So then we go to the Fletchers. I got a little clip for the Fletchers. I'm gonna show y'all. We'll talk about that, and then we'll just talk about the Fletchers, and then we'll keep it moving.
Was it just one? Yeah. Did you two have a separation when you discovered this?
Of course. About 18 months. 18 months.
What made you find a place in your heart to forgive your husband?
Love makes you do all types of That's the best way I can put it for you. I love him. I forgave him.
When the audience met you two, we met you through the courtesy of Mel and Martel. And you two were adamant about them making it work. Was that the reason why you wanted to help them make it work, because of what you were going through?
Yes. I knew they loved each other very much. I could see that from talking to Mel, also from talking to Martel, but I also seen Fletcher in Martel.
In what way?
Cockiness, clothes, arrogance. Fletcher used to be like that as well. And I've told him his arrogance is going to cause him to lose his family.
And that's what I saw and got from them, through the late nights of counseling, because they would be at our house till 2, 3 in the morning, talking and counseling, Nell crying and and all of that, just because they genuinely cared, So for me, it has been great to just have a real, genuine, solid friend.
Okay. So before we talk about that part that they just said, they did talk about the family, because we were getting interested in their family life or whatever, family dynamic. And Nell had talked about how she just kind of have backed off on asking, for the money and being like, you just give it to me when you got it or whatever. And it's because now her son, now Chris, is like reaching out a little bit more often, all that kind of stuff. What do you think about that though? Honestly, like they did the bond to get him out of jail. They paid for his dog that has some vet bills. So he owed him like let's say $10,000, right? And I guess Nell was holding the dog like, yeah, you got to pay me this $3,000. I got to pay for this dog and get your dog back. And he like, well, I don't feel like I should have to pay you since you keeping my dog. Bruh, like what? Like the whole entitlement of children feeling like because their parents have money, they always got to cash out and you never have to pay back. That's a little selfish to me. I don't think it's fair that I'm not going to talk to my mama and my daddy you know, because they asked me for the money I owe them. And if they stop asking me, I'll talk to them again. You still owe them money, dude. Like, and what happens when you need them to bond you out or bail you out again? You know what I mean? Like, just because they have businesses don't mean they don't need their money. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that. And I think it's good for TV because we can explore this more and this conversation more. But that did bother me. Like, so we just gotta we gotta chalk that money up because nigga ain't gonna talk to us unless we, you know, chalk it up. Basically, that's what it was. What do you think about that?
So, two things. First, I think Carlos's questions with entering about the cheating was a little cringy for me.
Very cringy.
That's number one.
Yeah.
I think that was a missed opportunity for a confessional question for Neil and Chris to discuss that at the time that Tisha kind of entered that to say, have you ever been cheated on? Yeah. I think that should have been more of a question of them being able to kind of explain some backstory instead of being hit with that. It kind of felt a little cringy. So that was number one. Number two, I think with this dynamic of the money and the entitlement and she letting it go for now and telling him that he loves them, one of the things that's making me tired of reality TV is that they continue to hit the surface when we are, as an audience, looking for things that are deeper. Right. And so they're not asking the right questions in confessionals, and I'm not seeing enough. Is this really about entitlement, or I noticed a pattern with that child and the other child that feels like y'all didn't give nothing to, and this child that feels like I ain't got to pay nothing back. Right. Has there been something missed in the parenting where maybe you gave a kid one too much and one not enough? There's just, I don't know. The Fletchers I want to see, but I feel like there's more under the surface. Because of course, automatically from what I'm seeing, I'm gonna agree by saying this sounds crazy to not pay your parents back. Right. But how did everybody get to this mind state? How do you have one kid saying you ain't got them nothing to a kid that you are going down the list of what you gave? Right. So what's going on with this girl? Right. So I just, Carlos and his production company missed the ball for the Fletchers for me, and really letting them carry a lot more that they could carry the second half.
I think they were trying to continue to give us the Mel and Martel BS. They were trying to stick to the Kimmy and the Maurice sex situation. I don't know what we were getting with Letitia and Marceau.
That's to say he missed an opportunity. I think
the Fletchers was the most interesting.
The Fletchers had an organic, interesting story, just like Mel and Martel did at Entrance. You have to allow Mel and Martel to live individual lives. You miss your opportunity with allowing them to go through individualism, and y'all keep trying to make them be in same spaces and all this type of stuff. And who you should have carried with their marital stories and outcomes was the Fletchers and Stormy and them. Right. And the way that the Tiffany and them could have been gone. Yes. Marcel and Letitia needed more pushing. Y'all had something, but it took too long. Like this pregnancy scare that we'll get to, that we saw in this part 3. Yeah. There was a lot underneath that. And y'all didn't go nowhere with that. And that was y'all issue in these confessionals. Y'all ain't really asked nothing to really spark some real ass conversation. Kimmy and oh boy actually had a decent storyline with her feeling like she has to sexually give herself to her partner because her partner needed. Y'all didn't curate some real conversation. Kimmy looked like a pick-me, and he looked like an abuser. And although these things could be true, we ain't unpacked nothing. And so it was cringy to watch. Y'all ain't asked no questions. Nobody said, like, y'all do these things that we hear in reality TV with these setups of questions. And y'all talk to somebody.
The only reason Kimmy and Maurice
Maurice, that's his name.
Yeah, actually kind of tried to clear it up and cover it up is because the audience was like, what the heck? Like, we let it be known it was cringy. Like, y'all, we see
but as producers, the fact that y'all were filming this
and y'all ain't catch it.
And y'all didn't catch it is a concern for me. Because I was thinking, like, okay, when this story first initially developed, I would have been like, okay, let's see where this goes. But as time went on, I would have been in confessionals or whatever asking some questions. Kimmy, are you doing this because you want your sex drive back, or do you feel more pressure for your husband to stay with you? You know what I mean? Like, y'all didn't push forward.
What happened was Carlos got Maurice on his little podcast show instead of in the actual show Love Marriage Huntsville. He interviews Marie on that show, which got even more cringy. You know what I mean? Because his answers were still cringy. And then they had to go on this little press tour where they went on TGIF and tried to clear it up and all that kind of stuff versus doing it on the show.
Correct, because Candi and them already tell us y'all set up a beat, meaning people walk into BS. Right. Y'all definitely could have had Mel, because, you know, Mel is in an interesting space right now. Mel could have been y'all beat for a lot of stuff. Like, she could have been a person where you could have had her because due to what she's been through with Martel, y'all could have had Mel say, hey, Mel, this is what we're noticing could possibly be some questions for the audience. I want you to go into this scene and ask Kimmy these questions to see her genuine reaction and responses to things we feel like Black Twitter is gonna say.
Right.
And they miss that. They miss the mark with when they do these conversations on the show. It's like the producers aren't thinking about what is the audience reaction that we want a cast member to go in and ask these people to get what is going on.
I agree.
And I feel like that with the Fletchers. It just was a missed opportunity. I like enough to see more, but the way Carlos kind of presented questions, it was really cringy.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel with the Fletchers.
It was. So the way he just all of a sudden, I thought it was very intrusive the way Letitia had asked Neil at that dinner, like, so your husband cheated on you, right? How you get over infidelity? That was already cringy. And then we get to this reunion and Carlos do the same thing. It's like, dang, y'all, like, you know, it was. And Neil sitting there like, okay. And Marcel's like, welcome to the reunion. And it's like, no, like, Carlos, you've been doing this long enough to know better. So for me, it just wasn't. It just wasn't. But another thing that stood out to me for the Fletcher segment was they asked about the expo again, y'all. Yes, the expo. So they brought up the thing to Letitia about how she initially told the Fletchers that she was going to have the expo and have them be a part of it, but then she never followed back up. So they approached, you know, they brought that up to Letitia, and then Letitia is saying, well, technically, I did speak to Chris about the expo at the birthday party, I guess her kid's birthday party or something, and I told Chris that I was going to invite him have him speak at the expo, but then I just forgot about it because I was thinking about the core 6 and trying to get the core 6 together. But I didn't ask Neil. I never spoke to Neil, and I didn't know Neil. That's how Letitia responded, and I was like, okay.
I think Letitia is still holding a little resentment, and this is me being fair, rightfully so, for allowing Kiki to come on that Texas trip. I think that shade is from you letting Kiki come from that Texas trip.
But the expo was before the Texas trip.
But I think her response was shady because of that Texas trip.
Okay.
The core 6, and they gave a good response. Stormy and them wasn't the core 6. And then, you know, her response was, well, I didn't know what Neil did. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like that was a shade moment because of that Texas trip. You could have simply said, you know what I mean? You're right. We did have this conversation. However, I'm going to be honest. When I looked at Stormy's resume and notoriety to what she's already produced, I kind of went over with them if I had to pick between the core 6. But you're right. You know, if I said that, I should have followed up, and I apologize. She could have cleaned that up.
And then what could Neil say? But I accept your apology, Goo.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, you could have been 100 and saying, I'm gonna be honest with Stormy's movement on and her resume versus your daycare, not to diminish it in Huntsville. But when I looked at the totality and the draw, I thought Stormy was a better pick. And for that, I apologize. I should have went with my word.
Or I should have at
Like
least
you said, what could she say?
Or I should have at least called you and said, I decided to go with Stormy. I'm sorry.
Right. But she didn't want to say that. She wanted to shade her.
We talked about this yesterday. I mean, last week. That's a boss move. And Letitia lacks those boss qualities.
She's not a boss. So that's a boss move. Okay, I got 2 willing candidates. How am I going to kind of determine who I want to be on here? Stormy got a draw. Stormy picking up on TikTok. Stormy got a resume. I'm gonna roll with Canvas Beauty over a daycare.
Right. Now, talking about that as well, because they did cover the trip. And Letitia did talk about how she felt disrespected. She could have at least gotten a heads up about the trip. Nell does say how she even told Kiki, like, you know what, maybe you shouldn't do it and you should just talk to her at home and not on the trip or whatever. But Kiki wanted to come anyway. And then one thing that Kiki had said when she was on that stage was, like, I did want to apologize for, you know, throwing the drink at her face, whatever. But I also want to come and have a good time. That's what it was.
I also didn't believe Nell when she said that, because from what we saw, that was edited out unless there was more to it. The way you presented it to your husband was Kiki called me because she wanted to apologize. So I told her to come down here. You never stated that you did not give her permission to come down. Right. And you just need to own that. So you trying to say, like, well, I told her maybe she should apologize. You gave her the permission to do that apology down there. You need to own it. You gave her that permission. You didn't know. You didn't let Letitia know. You was foul for that.
You could have apologized. Letitia, I should have let you know. I'm sorry.
And to me, she kind of went backwards with that for me.
Once she told her husband, she could have pulled Letitia in too and told her too, hey, I just got the phone with Kiki and you got to come over here. Like, at least give her that much heads up.
That's what I'm saying. To me, that comment of, I did tell her she could apologize was me. I felt like you going backwards with your ownership. Like, you trying to find a way to say Kiki was going to do what Kiki wanted to do. Right. And that's incorrect. You gave her permission to come down, and you didn't allow her to give her the heads up.
I think Nell also, I'm going to give Nell a little bit of grace. And I think that Nell doesn't, like, she's new to reality TV, which is why they kind of backed up. I think the producers made her be the one to let Kiki come, and she don't know how to break that fourth wall. Like, well, Carlos the one that told me to call Kiki in the first place. So she trying to figure out how to cover her tracks and not break the fourth wall.
And that's the thing. You gotta stand on business. Yes. Whatever production asks you to do, you gotta realize you are gonna be that face of that. So if that's something you don't want to do, you gotta be able to stand on business. Yes. So if production said, I want to find a way to get Kiki down here, you can say, well, I'm gonna tell Kiki, you don't have permission for me to come down here. So if you pop up, that's on you.
Right.
Then I could have stand on business and said, I told her not to bring her down here unless she's willing to get them repercussions. But I didn't give her permission to be here. That's how you stand on business and get your reality at the same time. But you ain't fit to have me doing nothing shady, because I ain't do that in real life. I don't give a damn about these damn views.
Okay. Period. But
you gotta stand on your business.
Nell is coming in not used to reality. You can tell.
And it takes a minute. And I'm be honest, I don't know how I would be. Girl, I'll probably be breaking 4, 5, 6, 7.
I be telling her, I don't know. Because Eric told me to do this. I be telling her.
Eric said that Marlo said that you said. I don't know how it would be a reality TV.
I be telling.
It's a different environment.
Yeah.
But from my observation, just watching reality TV for all these years, you have to be willing going into it to say no.
Yeah,
you gotta have some boundaries going in.
For me, I would, if they were to ever, I couldn't do reality TV. Like, I already know I'm not built for it. But
I could with boundaries.
I'm not gonna put myself in positions that's not normal to me, and I'm gonna tell them that. Like, I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. No, I would say no a whole bunch. They'd be mad as hell at me because I wouldn't be going into no uncomfortable, awkward situations that are not normal to me. And then how you want me to act? Like, I'm gonna react how I'm gonna react. You're not about to put me in this crazy made up scenario that's not real to me. I'm not
I'm gonna say it's not real when I get there. Now, whether you edit it out or not, it's on you. But when I come here and this girl is cussing me out for whatever and it's made up, I'm gonna call her out on it. So it's up to y'all how y'all want to slice it.
Right.
But I think if I ever did reality TV, there would be boundaries. Mm-hmm. These are things you will not film. These are things you will not see. These are people you cannot contact. If you are willing to do this with me without those requirements, go for it. But there's certain things that cannot be crossed. And I think people go into reality TV thinking like you got some people that have no boundaries, that show way too much, and you can't process things without opinions. And then you have other people where you came into this and you really don't want to, and now you ain't showing us nothing. Right. So I think people have to be introspective with going into reality TV and talking about this is what's not being filmed. For me, my kids wouldn't be filmed. And I know people want to see how I interact with my children that have autism, but they are not a consenting adult that can agree to criticism. They're not allowed on camera. They're not allowed. I might give you a sneak peek, 5 seconds, like a Beyonce, where we get to see Rumi and them for 2 seconds. I might but like for them to be in a confessional, for them to be like Brooklyn, baby Brooklyn, Kenya Brooklyn, you know, like that would not be mine. It just will not be mine. So that would be something I would say off rip. You can't film that. You can talk to me about my parental experience, but there are certain things and certain projections and certain pictures you're not allowed to talk about. You can't talk about my baby daddy.
They would have to respect it. I think
you can't do my baby daddy. You can't do, you know, certain friends that didn't ask. Those people didn't consent to that.
Right.
I have to give things that people consent to, in my experience with that, without getting them dragged into some stuff they didn't agree to. So certain things be off limits to me. I think some of the issue is some people don't have limits. And then you have Letitia and Maurice or Marcel, where I feel like y'all are hiding things.
Yep.
And I would much rather y'all come to the camera and tell us none of your goddamn business. That would eliminate a lot of things, because that's what I would do to break it. We're having this issue, and this is an issue that cannot be publicized until we process it.
Yep.
And you could go into a whole confessional as to why. But y'all be sitting here acting like we ain't seeing these lawsuits. Y'all ain't having these rumors of separation.
Right. They act like the real life, the stuff that we're seeing on social media just ain't happening. But they don't cover it. They don't tell us nothing. You be like, ain't they in court for custody for them kids? Why she gotta be around here? Like, we're seeing this on the outside. We're not dumb. The audience is not dumb. Okay, so let's wrap up with the Fletchers. One more thing. They also brought up how Martel was speaking to Miss Nail, and it was in a disrespectful manner, and Mr. Chris Fletcher sat and watched it. I do got a clip where Martel was going off about male cheating. I don't know how deep that get, but let me play that clip, and then we can talk about if we felt like Chris Fletcher should have stood up a little bit more for his wife. Hold on, here we go.
What? That's how I feel about it.
I'm sorry, it wasn't 5 years before she cheated on me. It wasn't 5 years.
Whatever.
She's right here. Ask her. It wasn't 5 years.
Always want me to ask her.
Of course, so you can get the truth, and hopefully she'll tell the truth.
I would love to hear what you have to say first.
About
what? What happened? Because you keep saying I cheated on you.
I said it wasn't 5 years before you cheated on me.
Go ahead. So tell me what happened, because you know something I don't know. I think. Go ahead.
And how many years were you two married when Mel cheated on you?
6, 7 years we're married, then you cheated on me?
2014, 2015.
What's funny?
Where the hell you get this stuff from? You just pull it out the air?
So you admit that you cheated while we were married?
I've never seen a person more concerned about a vagina that don't belong to them anymore.
Okay, so I don't want to go. I don't want to go back.
I never cheated on you.
Let's move past this. We've been talking about this for 6 years, but move past it.
That's all I want him to. Where's your proof? Martel, you have lied so much to everybody.
What am I lying
on
about?
this stage.
Stop. I don't like that. Don't call me a liar. What am I lying about?
A liar.
What am I lying about? What am I lying about? I'm sorry, Paul. Stop. What am I lying about? I had a conversation with you for a year before I did anything. What are you talking about? I don't know about one person.
Carlos. Go on, Carlos. I'm sorry.
Don't call me no liar. Don't call me no liar, because I don't lie. Okay. Where's my Martel clip? I'm gonna keep that for a while.
Yeah.
Because the brother be capping all the time. But That was
you know
where
what you need to get? You need to clip you a fat phase on lie. You need to find the Pat Williams clip. I want a clip of us being able to put a fat phase on lie.
Okay, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna work on that because we definitely need that. So the reason that Martel would be a little more aggressive in his tone when he would speak to Nell was always when Nell would be defending Mel. That just triggered him. He would just be loud with her, and then she would get loud back. And Chris, at one point, just stood there and let them go back and forth. So a lot of people, especially on Black Twitter, was like, how you gonna let this dude talk to your wife like this and you don't say nothing? Now, we did see him go talk to Martel at one point where he said, you can't talk to my wife like that, bro. It's going to be a problem or whatever. But then we watched them in Houston where he's yelling at Nell right in front of Chris, and Chris is not saying nothing. So and Chris's answer was, they're kind of like brother and sister, like going back and forth. I wasn't feeling like he was disrespecting because we're close to them and it's like a brother-sister relationship. What do you think about that?
I think two truths can coexist. I think Martel is disrespectful, and I think Nell don't know when to butt out of shit.
Okay.
And I think with the combination of that, we get escalated communication. I think we seen this with Nell when she went to the name changing and then wanted to insert and say, girl, so Martel told me that you were cheating, which was not the time at this name ceremony, right? Mm-hmm. I think that Nell needs to understand that any conversation about Mel is, why are you talking about it to Martel?
Yeah.
Why is that a conversation? So Nell needs to have boundaries. Chris needs to tell his wife there needs to be boundaries with certain things you discuss, and Mel should never be discussed with Martel. If we're going to be neutral, they are no longer married. They no longer need our counseling be going together. They are two separate individuals. Therefore, we are not here to listen to either of them bash or discuss one another. Find someone else to do it. Martel needs to understand that when he is discussing, because this is the thing that makes him upset or a trigger for him, and this is where I feel like Chris should step in. You keep trying to convince my wife that Mel is a bad person because she cheated too. Mm-hmm. And whatever her wrongs or contribution to the failure of your marriage has no merit to what you did. Mm-hmm. It's irrelevant to what you did. And instead of trying to get a team of, well, she was wrong too, and start focusing on moving forward, because you are the one that brings up this cheating allegation. Mm-hmm. No one sits around and says, remember you had a baby on Mel? You insert these conversations.
Yes.
So if you stop trying to propose for people, mm-hmm. to go ahead and attack Mel for whatever she contributes to the demise of your marriage, you mm-hmm. wouldn't be as triggered as you are. So whatever happened that maybe will never come to light or come to light later, you have to be okay with being vindicated later if you're telling the truth. Leave it alone. Stop trying to convince people that she cheated on you in 2012, 2013, 20. We don't care. Whatever the true character of Mel is will show up with Mel. Mm-hmm. Period. You've already given us what you feel are your accounts of the events 3, 4, 5 seasons ago. Mm-hmm. Let it go. And stop talking to my wife about something you want her to know about your ex-wife. Stop discussing your ex-wife with my wife.
Yeah.
I cannot handle that conversation with her in a manner of a tone that I like.
Right.
And if you would have talked to both of them, that shit would have deceased, mm-hmm. in my opinion. That's why I said I'm gonna do real nigga classes 1-on-1. I'm gonna get the Zoom going.
We need to get this popping. This needs to be like a segment for real that we just put out. We can either do it at the studio. We can edit it.
I need to give y'all real 1-on-1. Real nigga, real shit.
Because like for real, that's why you protect your woman, right? Like what you just said is exactly what I desire my partner to do. If a man is yelling and getting loud with me, I want my partner to step up and son that. I don't want to have to. Men complain so much. We see these podcasts, and men are complaining so much about women having to operate in these masculine energies. If a grown ass man is yelling at me, that's not my man. And I'm supposed to, like, I gotta just sit and take it. I gotta argue back and forth, and my man is not stepping up to be the masculine one to son him. Then what you want me to do?
And that's what he should have did at that Houston trip to me. He should have went ahead and told Martel, you bringing up cheating allegations to my wife about your ex-wife and getting upset about questions you feel should ask her is inappropriate and at this point irrelevant to what you did to yours.
Yeah.
You're going to stop talking to my wife in that tone, in that manner about what your ex-wife did or their relationship. It's none of your business. If you don't like the way she's handling Mel, then stop talking to her about Mel, but you're not going to talk to her in that tone. And now stay out of their business. Stop asking questions. Stop communicating. Stop engaging. Tell him you don't want to talk about it because every time you open your mouth, I got to open mine. I said cut the shit out. Period.
All right. So one more thing that stood out to me on this episode, the final one, was Marcel talking about Letitia and the possible pregnancy and the vasectomy failing and her cheating situation. I got a clip. We're going to talk about it. And then y'all, Tasha K live over there talking to Martel. So y'all can watch that if y'all want to. We going to give a clip of that, talk about it, and then we're going to wrap it. So let's get with this last topic real quick.
Do I think she's probably going to do it? No. Do I think she's capable of doing it? Yes.
Okay.
She really believes you've been faithful to her the entire marriage, even when people have made all these accusations.
I believe she's been faithful
she
too.
stuck beside you, and she does not believe you would cheat on her unless God comes down and tells her to her face.
Martel, no, unless you show me some proof in my face.
Martel, God shows you proof.
Down right.
Okay. She 10 toes down right with me.
It was hurtful when he was like, "Yeah, you would do it. You would do it." I'm like, "Man, I've been
No.
all type of names wrong with
That's
you."
right. I'm saying the difference is this.
Me?
I don't care if I've been accused 1,000 times. If I told her right now, hey T, this lady trying to say I had sex with her. I took a blood test though. It's not my baby.
I'm gone.
Okay then. Because what am I doing taking a test?
Exactly.
And so what's she doing taking a test if she can't be pregnant? So the idea.
It's not the same.
It's the exact same.
Girl, I ain't got nothing to say about this because I do feel like it's different. I feel like, again, she has stood 10 toes down for him when he taking trips by himself to Africa. I feel like people know vasectomies can fail. If you are still having sex with your wife, I'm okay with him saying, I got a vasectomy. How you pregnant? You've been cheating on me? But I'm upset with him not even considering the fact that the vasectomy could have failed. Like, that's not even a thought. In his brain, he is still stuck on, it had to be cheating. It had to be cheating. Vasectomies fail all the time. People be getting their tubes tied and the shit fails all the time. So if you're still having sex with your wife and you're injecting your semen inside of your wife, she could get pregnant. She could. It is not a zero chance of her getting pregnant. So for you to act like that's not a possibility, it's automatically she had to be cheating is what irritates me. But go ahead, Karma.
I agree. I think that if I was with a spouse who, now I have my tubes removed. So I don't do ties and burns. Mines are gone, right? There is no natural medical way for me to be pregnant. You have to put it in a petri dish and insert it into my uterus, right? Like there's zero chances because tubes don't grow back. So mines are removed, right? And so for me to be pregnant, it would have to be like a natural whatever. But if you're talking about tubes, ties, vasectomies, whatever, I think that is really odd that your jump and assumption is cheating. I think that's extremely odd in Marcel's case. And I think he tells us every day that he does grimy-ish by the way he responds. Because if my tubes were tied and I got pregnant, would be a whole different, you know what I mean? Like I don't get why you jumped to her cheating. I don't know why you not standing 10 toes down like she did for you in this situation. My hope for Letitia and moving forward in her next season is that she really, because I don't know what happens behind closed doors, but I know what you look like on television. I really hope you examine the difference of how he responds, how he protects, how he talks to you, and how he shows up for you, versus what you need and what you do for him. Because it's very disturbing that that's what he jumped to after we done had all these things, and you told everybody, until you give me the proof, I'm standing by my husband. And in his mind, it wasn't until y'all give me proof she cheated, then this baby was mine. That's what killed me, because she said until there is a picture with your face on a chick, it ain't true. And you said, nah, the percentage is too high, so you gonna have to show me proof it's mine. That's wild.
Yep. But that to me is like a guilty conscience trying to put that guilt off on you.
It's a projection. That's what I said. I hope she really examines that, because how she responded to rumors versus his, and the gaslighting when she called him in that car and said, have you cheated on me? And he said, I can't answer that for you. The way he played in your face, even when you needed reassurance because it was a lot going on, you just needed a reassurance of, I would never do that.
Right.
He played in your face and joked in your face, man, I can't answer that for you. And you still stood beside that man. And the moment you go take a pregnancy test because you sick, he said, can't be mine. And embarrassed you. You know who was actually disappointed on this season before we close out and y'all jump to Cardi B's employee? Was actually Kimmy.
Because Kimmy always tried to make excuses for Marcel instead of actually defending Letitia. She was always on some, well, Marcel, or he gets in everybody's business. Well, I don't understand how he could feel like this, because you do have your tube side. Like, girl, what are you doing?
You know why? Because Kimmy confirmed this season. Remember, Kimmy was always, like, we may have had concerns with whether or not Kimmy was really giving us her marriage, but Kimmy was always deemed the balanced person out of the group. Kimmy showed us she is actually a pick-me.
Yep.
That's what Kimmy showed us this season. Kimmy shows us that what we thought was balance all the time was actually a lot of pick-me politics in different areas. That sometimes her balance wasn't balance. It was just about giving them a masculine perspective into a situation and conversation. And this season really showcased that for her, unfortunately. And now in hindsight and wholeness, it makes sense from the way, the side chick ordeal and the way that you handled that and all of these things gives me pick me. You may not be a pick me to the places of like, I choose a man over my kid or anything like that. But just the idea that you have a patriarchal view on a lot of ways that you insert yourself in conversations or logic. Like, I'm going to sacrifice my sex drive to make my husband happy. I'm going to look at Marcel's perspective without understanding that Tisha did this selfishly, made herself look like a clown.
Yes.
On the internet, on national TV, in front of millions of people, by saying, I stand by this man that we all feel like is doing shady things, and stood 10 toes that you didn't give that same expectation. You wanted to flip it. I can never recall Kimmy telling Letitia, do you think these allegations might be true?
But you know what? When Carlos asked Mel and Kimmy, did they think Letitia was delusional? They both wouldn't answer. That said a lot. That Kimmy was like, Mel, you do it.
But my thing is, Kimmy,
why you won't say nothing? Because you defend.
I don't like that. Kimmy pissed me off with that, because Mel's been real clear. You keep his face. You might want to go to the bar and see what your husband doing. Kimmy, you've been playing in that girl face. If you really was like in your gut, like, girl, I kind of feel like this is a lot of allegations. I ain't never heard you on camera say that.
Right.
I'll never recall you ever sitting down with your sister-in-law and saying, this is a lie. Do you think that they may have something? Maybe he ain't cheated, but it's something inappropriate that's on a borderline of cheating. She would do little shit like, oh, so he went to Africa? what's her name? Mel looked in that girl face and said, "You should go to the bar if you want to know what he's doing. Everybody see what he's doing."
Yep.
I feel like Kimmy ain't really staying 10 toes down on that.
No, she not.
And that's your sister-in-law, y'all close or whatever the fuck it is, or y'all had these issues.
Well, they really weren't close like that until these couple last seasons.
Okay, but either way, y'all were close enough during the Africa season and some other shit.
I guess I kind of felt like at one point Kimmy was kind of like a certain kind of way, and then I think she got checked off season, and she came back different.
I actually think that this was Kimmy. I think that people can only be a certain way on reality TV for so long before things catch up with you, because certain situations you end up being who you really are. It just may take a while.
Yeah.
I think that Kimmy wasn't in certain situations for you to see the fullness of it. Remember, we thought Maurice was the better of Marcel until this season.
Right. Well, I mean, think about Kimmy going back and forth with Wanda. Kimmy telling even Letitia, like, if it wasn't for the marriage, I wouldn't be friends with her. Like, you know, like Kimmy was saying some shit like, oh, you know what I mean? But
to a woman, that's why I said pick me politics. You ain't see it until now.
Right.
You was giving smoke to Tisha. It was pretty valid. But now, when it comes to your husband and it comes to certain situations, you moving kind of funny. The logic ain't adding.
But I feel like her husband done checked her. And she just like,
pick me politics.
Yeah.
Pick me politics.
Yeah.
I can see it now. There's certain things that's changing in your behavior. You're actually kind of giving a little bit of pick me.
Yeah.
And you know, I know this probably, if Kimmy ever saw whatever, this might rub you the wrong way. I still like you, Kimmy, but I do think that, you know, that is something you might want to examine and unpack, because the way that this season played out, I really think that a lot of this wasn't necessarily because she said, well, I want to get my sex drive back too. And that can be true. But I think the second thing that coexisted is you're doing this
for him. Because you don't want him to leave. Yeah. Yeah. And
you're not being real with yourself with that.
To me, I wasn't even upset with her saying that she still wanted to satisfy her husband, right? I wasn't upset with that, right? I was upset with her husband not willing to sacrifice for his wife, right?
Correct.
Like,
and Kimmy never checked that. She never checked him for that.
And that's the thing, because my grandmother died of cancer, right? We went to Florida to see her because they were saying it was getting bad. So we went to go see her, and we were spending time with her, and everything was, you know, whatever. And she was like, she was staying in my aunt's house. Her and my grandpa had moved in my aunt's house, you know, because she was helping with them. And they had a hospital bed in the bedroom, and then like their actual bed was in the bedroom. So he was still in the bedroom with her. I was in there chilling with her, laying, getting on her nerves or whatever, like I always do. And she was like, all right, you got to get out. I need to spend some time with my husband. I said, what y'all gonna do? And she looked at me like, I need to tend to my husband. Now, my grandmother, you know, has cancer, colon cancer. And she in here talking about, get out. I need to be with my husband. This is my husband. So I do know women that has that sacrifice. Now, my grandpa like, Candi, sit your ass down. We ain't about to do none of that. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? He wasn't doing that. But
that right there is the point.
That's the difference.
Because he said we're not about to do that.
Dying of cancer, he wasn't like, yeah, go ahead and give me some, boo, because I won't. And that's what Maurice was doing. Well, fake it. Yeah, I want you to fake it. It's good that you're faking it. You love me that much.
Your mind.
But you don't love her enough to like give her grace. She going through chemo and radiation.
Or it's saying shit like it's in your mind, it's not your body. Whether it's her mind, whether it is in her mind that does affect her body.
Yeah,
it is the fact that it wasn't. Kimmy wouldn't have been so adamant, in my opinion, if you would have just gave her reassurance, that you would be here and the sex didn't matter.
Okay, so I don't agree with the it's in the mind thing. Number one, Kimmy is a nurse. She's in the medical field. She knows that she is getting this stuff put in her body, and it is affecting her differently. The fact that you instantly went to it's in your mind, it ain't your body. That's how Marcel went to it ain't my baby. You had to cheat. Like, your mind didn't even go to, my wife has cancer. She is getting injected with some type of substance that, you know, to fight this off. And she's getting radiation. It could be affecting her body. No, that ain't even in your mind. Nah, it's all in her mind. She just don't want to give me none. Like, really, dude?
And it could, and to me, it was a mixture of both. And I feel like that just, to me, shows how much Maurice is just obtuse, right? I feel like even though a lot of us have not went through cancer, thank God, a lot of us have went through body changes, whether that is having a baby or you gaining weight or just not satisfied sometimes with what your body looked like compared to when we was 20, right? You go through certain things where you're like, I don't like this part of my body, right? And so it can be mental where you just don't feel like into things because you don't like the way you look. Regardless, you drop the ball with even making her feel like I am super still attracted to you when you're ready. I think you look beautiful and waiting on you. You know what I mean? Like, or being the one that says, I just want to do a sexy shoot. I bought you some lingerie. These pictures of me, cameras, get out. You did nothing to make her feel.
Now I think both things can be right at the same time. I do agree with that for the aftermath, but this started while she was having treatments. So she was coming to the expo all tired. She had just got finished. She was doing treatments and they were still having this sex stuff. This sex conversation started while she was going through radiation. So you can't tell her it's in her mind when she is going through treatments. Like, that's selfish. I don't care. That shit is selfish. And I ain't never seen that. Even though we have been blessed not to experience cancer in our own bodies, we all know somebody that's gone through it.
And like I said, even if it's not cancer, I feel like just as a woman being relatable, there is something that can make you feel uncomfortable, whether that's stretch marks or one titty is bigger than the other, just something that's a part of your body, male and female, honestly, that just makes you sometimes feel uncomfortable, or I want to have sex with the lights out, or just something normal that makes you feel uncomfortable that your spouse can say, but I like that imperfection. And I feel like Maurice was not
given any type of reassurance at all.
Not emotionally supportive to the things of cutting off her hair, to all of these different.
Yeah, because he said something, you ain't got no hair, girl. Don't.
and I just don't think he was emotionally supportive. And I feel like Kimmy's response to that was just like, you didn't protect me in this space, right? And which is correct, Kimmy, he didn't. And I like that you held him accountable to, I don't like the way that this looks, and this is why the internet is dragging you. But I felt like you were speaking on behalf of the internet, and I didn't really feel like you
spoke for us well.
I don't feel like Kimmy is speaking for her. I don't feel like Kimmy is looking her husband in the face and telling him how I feel plus a boundary.
But you know what?
I'm faking it for you, but you're not telling him things with a boundary. Like, hey, this is what I need for you in order for this to happen, or this. You just let him glide.
It made me want to go back to season 1 and really watch Kimmy and see everything and watch Maurice, because again, when Carlos told her when Maurice accidentally stepped on her dress, protect her for once. You know what I mean? Like with the Kiowa stuff, he's never had your back, Kimmy, ever, that we've seen. When have we seen him actually stand up and have your back? You had cancer and he wasn't having your back. So it's sad. That was a sad way to watch Kimmy go down, especially when she was a fan favorite initially. You know what I'm saying? It just rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But but that's it. That's the reunion, part 3. Are we watching the next season? What do you think?
I'm gonna just be honest. If I'm be honest, me and Kenny, we talked about this offline. Scripted TV at this point, in my mind, is not giving for me what I wanted to do. It's not evolving. It's not evolving. Yes, like when I was in my 20s, Flavor of Love, New York, Buck Wild, everybody was great. As I am in my 30s, I am looking for something a little bit above surface level. And right now, these fake jobs, people giving us like, she by Sheree, but can't nobody order it or whatever. Like, I am tired of these same generic over and over bickering, drama-filled only storylines. They're not balanced. They have no substance. They're not going deeper. I can no longer connect.
My question for reality TV. And then I'm gonna play you this clip real quick because I gotta play it for you because I gotta get your reaction. But my question for reality TV, especially to have ensembles with women, is why is every ingredient cattiness, shadiness, betrayal? Why does that have to be in every show? Because that's not my reality. I don't hang around girls that we shade each other 24/7 and we catty to each other. Are we gonna ever get a different type of show, or is that just what they give us all the time? I don't understand why it has to be that. Because they were talking about Bell Collective and this one lady coming on, and she said she couldn't come on because she on shade and she on read, but she fight, and they don't want her to come on because she fight. And I'm like, see, I don't shade and read either, and I'll be quick to want to punch somebody in the face. So I don't understand why all these shows got to be about this cattiness and this fakeness and this shade. Who throws shade the best?
I think there's a balance to that, right? I think there's moments where we might shade a coworker or two or whatever. It just may not be as much as we see in reality TV. I just think that it again, the drama and the things need to be balanced. If I am in an uncomfortable situation, that's not necessarily my typical cup of tea because these are my coworkers. How would you act in a coworker situation? Because technically none of these hoes is your boss. And who are they going to talk to? HR? So I may say a couple of extra shady things I may not be able to say in a corporate America, right? To get you off. But I don't think it's necessarily about reads, because reads honestly are the best when it's the truth. And I think when people do too much, and let me go get a prop and throw a bone and all of that, it's over the top. But when you go a Monique and you get a binder and you look at this and say, I'm sorry, is that not him? He doing it? That was one of the best. Think about it. The best reads were all true. When Phaedra looked at Kendra and said, you don't know if your baby daddy is gonna be a molester. All you know is he needed $10 for a pizza and did it in a cup for you to have a kid. Now check that. It's the truth. Because you don't know what you picking when you pick sperm. The best reads hold true. You ain't gotta sit here and write a whole bunch of things. You just have to really remember what you know about this person's tea, and then let them know who are you to be talking to me like this, because these things are happening, and that is a read. The read is the truth. When you go actually do these prompts or whatever, and when you really think about it in real life, that's what we do at people's job, right? When somebody comes to me named, I had one person, we're going to give her Becky. Becky worked with me. So Becky was the receptionist. Now, Becky was like really close. She was a secondhand person. She did a lot of things in the school. But Becky one day thought she was going to tell me what I needed to do because she was close to the boss. But you're not my boss.
Right.
Becky, you're in charge of pens, payroll. Things like the things that start with, P's. You're not in charge of me. That was a read, but it was true. And it was professional. That is outside of your scope. And I read her for filth. Now, if she would come to me and she would never say good morning, she would just tell me what she needed to do. Hey, I need you to go, excuse me, good morning, before you ask me a request. How are you? What is something that you need? Do I have time on my schedule? Right? We have all checked these people for my last email. We have all done it. That is the type of rollout in reality TV show. The exception is you could throw a drink or two.
Yeah.
So you really ain't got to be a professional reader. You just got to be a professional truth teller. You got to be able to stand in your truth and give the truth back, and you'll read all day.
Okay.
That's really the tea.
That's the tea. Yeah.
If you that's the tea.
I feel like they've turned the reading thing too much for me. Like everybody's trying to have a moment. Everybody's trying to get a punchline. Everybody trying to, and it'd be like,
again, what did I say? Tisha ain't no boss. I wouldn't have had to do anything but go down the facts of you not being a boss. And it would have been a read for the millions. Because you're not a boss.
Yep.
And therefore, there's nothing to discuss with you because you're not the boss. Okay? And that could have been the catch line on Twitter. Hashtag LMHA, she not a boss. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to lie. You ain't got to get extra. That's where reality TV is good. Like when Tiffany Pollard was saying Beyonce, there was genuine reactions.
But that was her reaction, and that's when it's good. That's when it's
good. When you just read in.
Even this reunion show had a couple of good moments that was good. Like genuine moments too. Like,
oh my God, it's Kiki and was
good, but that was a real reaction. When Carlos asked Mel and Kimmy, and they both was passing on each other, it was funny because Mel was like, you do it. No. Like, because Mel been like, I done been said it over and over again. So Mel was like, I ain't got nothing to say. When Martel tried to steal Mel's thing, Zeal. You know, like she was like, I'm gonna tell you mine, but don't copy it, Martel. And then when he copied it, like, you know what I mean? And then Marcel was like, and Marcel was like, he paid her with the Zelle app. That's what he did. Like, that was
we had 3 parts. We just did 3 moments. Again, that could have been an hour and a half, maybe.
Exactly.
But it wasn't.
Those was like real moments that I actually was like, okay, that was cute. That was funny. That was this. But then when they was trying to do the antics and you got the reads on the cue cards, you're trying to make sure you throw out.
Let me get the boxing thing. Girl,
right. You trying to do too
if
much.
you wanted to box, Kiki should have been your moment. She threw a whole drink directly in your face. It all came on your face. Nothing fell to the floor. Nothing came on the table. Everything was on your face and shirt. You had to use a towel. If you wanted to box, your energy should have been with Kiki. And again, that's everything I would have said. You have more energy for me and you copied and paste my shit than you do your cousin that threw a drink on you and came in as your ops friend. You can't tell you're not the boss of your marriage, the boss of your family, or the boss of your job. Tisha couldn't tell me shit. Your cousin here.
All right, get out of here. Listen, we already know Tisha ain't a boss. Let's talk about another person not a boss, Miss Tasha K. Tasha K is currently on live right now interviewing Martel Hope because Martel Hope said he has been protecting Mel all this time and he finally gonna tell the truth and he ain't protecting her no more. I'm gonna show you a clip. Watch Karma's face, y'all.
I ain't seen it.
This is a very real reaction. I'm gonna get her commentary and then we gonna go. So watch it real quick. Here we go.
I'm over here still stripping. It's cold.
I know it's cold. They gonna see me doing this right here.
No,
they won't, because this wine about to warm you up. Matter of fact, we got your wine.
There it is.
Martel Holt.
What's up?
I didn't know you was in the wine business.
Like, how you gonna come to this TV show? I know I was doing my thing and you doing your thing, but you wanna crucify me on this show. Well, you know you was doing the same fucking thing.
Well, see, I think that's where people get it in, that it was all staged for television. Like, y'all knew y'all had a bad marriage. You knew you were both cheating, but you
So I didn't know she was cheating. She said, the only thing I did was suck her dick.
So how long has it been since you sucked somebody's dick?
3+ years ago.
3 years ago.
3+ years ago.
I mean, that's pretty heavy.
I'm like...
And then she kissed you.
Shut up, Tasha. No.
Ariana did tell me. She was just like, Melanie came over my house. My mom was there, we just talk for hours. I'm like, why would a wife be over there talking with a, and no offense to Ariana, with a side bitch? Like, what?
Ariana with no side bitch. That was my other woman. Let's get that corrected.
Was Martel ever physically abusive?
No.
Like, that girl, she's the abusive person.
Why don't you mess my shit up? Don't do that. Stop, Mel.
She said my problem was I didn't talk dirty to her.
Oh.
And fast forward to like now, I'm thinking like, damn, I never talked dirty to you. Where the fuck you get that from? When she was cheating, I guess that dude was talking freaking nasty to her, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Melody is not perfect. I didn't expect her to be perfect. I know you're not perfect. I don't expect you to be perfect.
Yeah.
But there are 4 children between the 2 of you.
That's right.
You have they have a sibling. That makes 5.
Right.
And, could we possibly see on the upcoming season or a season to come peace between y'all and maybe another couple
in terms of audience, is predominantly women, and probably about 90% women who watch the show. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And all those women, everybody gonna go through something. So all those women probably gone through something with a boyfriend or with a husband.
And you're that.
They ripping me apart for what them dudes did. You know what I'm saying?
You're that character from Why Did I Get Married?
Why Did I Get Married?
They like, can we please, this is me, can we please forgive this guy
for
what he did in that movie?
Never. They said 10 years later, never. But the thing is, so, you know, I feel.
Yeah, she sat there the whole time like this. I didn't know the screen was gonna be so big, but she sat there the whole time like this.
Listen, because now the wine is kicking in. So now I'm a motherfucking wino. First of all, Melody told us she beat your ass on the reunion. Mm-hmm. So you telling us now? We already knew that happened. Second of all, it came out in those court docs that there was some tussling going on when you decided to give them to the blogs. Mm-hmm. So the people have a general idea that you might have got your ass beat. And Melody's already said that. So that's null and void. Number two, we saw the reunion where he asked her, Carlos asked, well, did you have sex? And she said he did something to me. She has already said it was during the times that y'all were separated. She wasn't thinking y'all were going to get back together, that there was somebody in between, but she didn't think y'all were getting back together, right? And so from my understanding from that clip still does not vindicate you, because she's already told us that there were moments where she said, I got my own apartment. I was not planning to get back with you. So what I did is what I did. Mm-hmm. So you saying her telling us she sucked dick years ago, we don't care. And lastly, for you to say that's your other woman, have another baby, you know, Carlos asking you, is Ariane the entree? If I was male, I'm fucking your daddy, and you're lucky. You lucky on God that's all that happened. Mm-hmm. The embarrassment, why, and Tasha saying, well, she came on here and y'all knew y'all had a bad marriage. Mel opened up on Love and Marriage Huntsville season 1.
Yes, and told us
dinner table saying, so do y'all forgive people that cheated? Because I couldn't wait to tell us what he was doing. So we already entered into knowing that cheating occurred and she got pregnant with Sugar Mama afterwards.
Yes.
Find the lie. You're not telling us nothing from that particular clip.
Yeah.
Martel is a narcissist, and him saying things like, you know, 90% of women looking at me, I'm assuming this is the way he wanted to articulate it, because 90% of women, I think I triggered them, and so they come and attack me for people that have done stuff to them. They don't want to see the whole picture. That can be true, as well as they not lying. You ain't shit. You telling us Mel ain't shit is not vindicating you ain't shit. And you wanting y'all to be ain't shit together is not going to make that wine sale that Tasha, as the interviewer, didn't even know you sold. You ain't bring your grandma's wine here.
No, he did. He brought it. It ain't in that clip. He brought it. It ain't in that clip. Yeah.
Your interviewer didn't even know you sold wine.
But she said it. She was like, I didn't know you had wine. She said that. And I seen the clip where she said that too. So he definitely brought his wine.
You don't watch the show. Because how you didn't know he didn't sell no wine. And
Tasha kills me because Tasha keeps doing that. Like, she act like she ain't watched the show. When she interviewed Ariane, she act like she ain't watched the show. When she interviewed Martel, she act like it. You need to watch the show if you're going to interview these people, because you ain't asking the right questions. If you're going to be the interviewer, ask the right questions, Tasha, because you're going to make us mad.
Or have your researcher behind the scene or your helping producer be able to have watched it to help you prep the questions. Nothing, you giving me Breakfast fucking Club. Yes. Nothing makes me madder when some of the questions you ask have already been answered in a goddamn episode or book. Or you don't know how to follow up to get more information because you ain't do your research.
Yeah, because he's saying stuff that we already know. We know she beat your ass. We know that she left and moved out and got oral sex by somebody or gave oral sex. We know
she literally said that on the stage that he did something. Well, he did something to me, and right then and there, I was like, "Oh, Mel, you know, goddamn well." But I don't understand. I don't. If you want peace, where is she crucifying you? Because if we're gonna be honest, from what's happened just from this season alone, the custody paperwork, I can tell by what was leaked wasn't leaked from Mel, because there were certain bloggers discussing, oh, Mel hasn't been following her rights. You leaked that. We know you leaked that. Mel wouldn't leak something that doesn't work in her favor. You leaked that, right? The revenge, all these different things. Like, what has she said that necessarily crucified you? Everything that has been said and ideas people have came up with about your character has been directly of what has been edited and fed to us in the hour segments.
And also, let's be 100%. Your other woman, the other woman, that was your other woman, not a side chick, but the other woman. She done told us a whole bunch of stuff about you in her lives. When she mad at you, she spilled all your little tea.
You called that lady a peasant.
Wait a minute.
So you sit here telling Tasha K, that's my other woman. You're the one that called her a peasant.
Right. And let me just give y'all this.
Was there also something about her? Was that ever a part of it? And
no, she was a peasant.
She was a peasant?
She was a peasant.
She was a peasant. Wow, you really said that?
Yeah.
What does peasantry mean to you?
Low class. Yeah. My mom was gone.
I'm sure your wife is not a peasant.
Of course.
Okay, so why go to a peasant to get what your wife didn't have the capacity to give you?
I don't know.
Let the record show that I do not see what clips Candi decides to upload. Genuine reactions are made. So me saying it was a peasant and the clip rolling into it, I didn't even pick it. And it's genuine reaction. We discussed in a group chat what I want to see. Candi does all give her flowers. The editing, all of the things. Because I don't know how to do any of that. So let the receipt show. You called her hey peasant, and then want us to correct as the public that's your other woman.
And then when they asked you, because I got last clip for you, Martel, before I go. When they asked you why you called her a peasant, here was your response.
I'm married. I have a beautiful wife. I know I've done wrong, but what I'm going to call somebody that I was sent on the side.
No, that's still a woman.
I know it's still a woman. I mean, but we did certain things together, and she knew I was married.
So, again, whatever our thoughts are with Ariane is because of you and Ariane. Mel has not even mentioned her by name. Okay, let's be clear. So I am not saying that Mel is a saint, because I have openly critiqued some of the things Mel does that I find to be shady. But nothing you can convince us is that Mel is equally somehow responsible as you. I do not condone domestic violence, but domestic violence is also emotional and physical. She decided to get a bat. You decided to be angry, throw things, cheat, all the things. So showing up to places you're not invited to, like birthday parties when it's not your time. To me, it got toxic. She said that the relationship was toxic. You both did things. So my thing is, if you're using this as a way to say, like me too, it is not gonna work. And at some point, somebody has to ask Martel, what is your goal? Because I'm telling you, this strategy isn't gonna work. The only women that are going to agree on whatever live that's happening now are pick-me's. Period. It was nothing you could do. They were already on your side. Pick-me's. The millimeters are not moving. Her subscriber list not moving because of you. There will have to be other outside sources that make people be like, I don't like Mel. Now I'm gonna tell y'all to be honest, and Millimeter's gonna be mad. I did unfollow Mel. But let me tell you what made me unfollow. And I still love her, but this really made me mad. And I might follow her back, but this made me mad in a moment. Her and that blogger got into it. The guy,
Anthony Lofty. Yeah, I didn't get into that. I just ignored the whole thing, so I don't know what happened.
Got into it, and she went live. And I felt like when there was a point in her live where she said, millimeters, let's look into his job type of thing. Male using your fan base in any capacity concerns me. And it's not to say that the guy didn't do some things that were shady. I don't follow him because I didn't like the way he moved with Destiny's interview per se. Like there were some things that made me just be like, oh, I get him, and then it's like, I don't know.
He was real new. He was new, and then he was
new, and he kind of took off. Yeah. It might have been a little bit after his Destiny interview. It was for sure when I saw the drama with him and his admin Melody C that I follow. Shout out to you, boo. I hope you're doing well. We've inboxed a couple times. But I don't like anybody, because y'all know how I was with that food blogger that uses your fan base to antagonize, escalate your individual beat.
Right. Yeah.
Because you don't know who you're talking to on the screen.
Right.
How far they will go.
And they can take it. Super fans way too far. And that's
like you don't know if they're gonna go to this man house. You don't know what it is, and you just openly put yourself in a liability situation because you said millimeters activate.
Yeah.
That rubbed me completely wrong. I do not like anybody that tells their followers to do anything that is not for an active cause to promote change or advocacy for other people. I don't like you using your followers to do some type of work to hinder or whatever. I don't care how y'all slice it. She knows that she can't control everybody on this fast web. And I would have never given a let's go and report. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. She had her friend Brittany, in the background, who don't even want to be on camera. You talking about what is your social work thing and da da da. I didn't like any of that, so that made me unfollow for a second.
Yeah,
I was like,
I got you, and I can understand that because I don't like that either. So yeah. But okay, now we gonna get out of here. We gonna, you know what I mean, come back Friday with some hot topics. So make sure y'all send us hot topics that y'all got for our show on Friday. I'm gonna go take a shower and try to watch this Tasha K interview with Martel. I'm gonna try my hardest. I don't know how much I'm gonna get through it. Hopefully, because the Ariane interview was entertaining. I was entertained because the girl was not smart. And I was just laughing at her contradicting herself in the interview. It was just very funny, especially two-parent household. I need to use that as a bite too. Two-parent household. Two-parent. But I'm gonna watch it, and I'll definitely talk about it on Friday. I don't know if Karma gonna watch it. Y'all know Karma might not watch it, so I had to get her to highlight.
Yeah, I already know. I'm not. She gonna have to make me watch it because she gonna want this to be a conversation. It's the only way I'm gonna watch it. Certain shit
I'll probably watch it first, and if it's worth it, you know what I'm saying? Like if it's
gonna have to tell me this is worth us talking about, and then I'll go watch it.
Yeah. It might not be worth the conversation. Like I'm saying, if I watch it and it's really him just telling us stuff we already know, and him doing just stupid lies, we ain't gotta go deep in that. So we'll see what he's saying. I'm gonna watch it. I'll let you know, and then we'll be back Friday, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Shout out to everybody on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. I saw y'all on Instagram.
I just want to tell you, we did that because it really wasn't a lot of material to get us to an hour and 30. Y'all need to like it up. Y'all need to share. Y'all need to share Candi's YouTube because it really wasn't there.
Yes, but we did it. So we love y'all. We thank y'all, and we'll talk to y'all Friday. Bye.
Bye.